So I just got this song. It's called Photograph by Sterr. I've never heard it before in my life, so I'm going to listen to it now for the first time. And I'm going to try and figure out the drumming. So I'm not going to do creative stuff at first. I kind of just want to get behind the feel of the song and just figure out the drumming parts, basically what the feel is about the song, and kind of try to replicate that on the kit. I'm not going to do it note for note. It's not going to be like an exact replica of the original drum line. I'm just going to figure it out for myself. Like I said, the feel is the most important thing for me. So that's what I'm going for now. I'm going to start by just listening to the song, just going through the whole song, because I've never heard it before in my life. So this is just to get an idea of the feel and the genre and the groove of the song.
That my wings are tied, I'm sure gonna try. I can see you are bleeding, I can feel you are hurting, I can tell you are getting tired of this. I am cold, you're just bitter, I am strong, you just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this. Complicated and feel so heavy. You've become jaded and you can blame me. You want purpose, it's something hidden. You want answers, you gotta seek them. Can I fly? I can see you are bleeding, I can feel you are hurting, I can tell you are getting tired of this. I am cold, you're just bitter, I am strong, you just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Sweet. That's quite a lot of stuff going on. The biggest thing that I noticed is obviously the tempo and time signature change in the middle. But before I even get to that, and before I even get to the complicated little stops and stuff that I love so much throughout the song, I think I want to take it part for part. So I'll take the intro and I'll listen to the intro and hear exactly what's going on and kind of try to replicate that. But I should mention though, because the mix is so thick, I can't really hear exactly what is happening on the bass drum. I heard some kick patterns and I heard the double bass at the end, but I can't hear exactly what the bass drum is doing. So I'm just going to kind of play the generic rock beat or whatever sounds good for me. But like I said, my main goal is to get behind the feel of the song, maybe try and nail a few of the stops, but I'm not going to try and replicate it note for note. So I'm just going to start with the intro, listen to it again and try to replicate it. That's simple enough. Let's see if I can do that. Sweet. And then just that little intro beat groove vibe. I just want to listen to that again. I dig that little fill in the middle. That's one of my, it's actually a fill that I like playing. Even before I heard the song, that's one of my favorite fills. So, well, one of my all-time favorite fills, but it's a fill that I dig to play. So I think that's why I'll be able to, I think, well, hopefully be able to play it first go. But usually what I do if I hear a fill that I can't play initially is just to listen to it again and again and again, and to listen what every specific part of the kit is doing. So what is the guy doing on the bass drum, what is he doing on the snare, on the toms, on the cymbals. But in this case I know that fill, so I kind of just recognize the fill. So I think I'll be able to do that one in the middle. And the kick pattern sounds pretty simple as well. I'm just going to go dit 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 dit. I know I sound like an idiot, but that's what I'm going to do with the bass drum. Let's see what this part feels like on the kit. Also the end, he stops and then there's like a little gap and then he comes in with a, he or she, I don't know the sex of the drummer, but he or she comes in with this little hi-hat vibe between the snare and the hi-hat after that intro is finished. So I'm just going to see if I can get in on that as well. So I'll just play the song from the beginning up until the end of that intro. I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm not even going to worry about playing that end exactly like that, because the feel felt the same. So, you know, if I really want to get ridiculously analytical about it, I think I can kind of do those two crashes and come in with the hats and the snare. But like I said, the feel is most important. I think that's okay. I'm satisfied with that. So I'll just listen to the first verse now and hear what that sounds like.
You gotta make good, you gotta photograph. You make me smile and then I wanna laugh. You think you've got it all figured out. You fill my void when nothing's on the shelf. Can
I think that's pretty simple. Well, it feels pretty simple feel-wise. So I think the most, well, the thing that stood out the most to me was the fact that the drums follow the vocals at the end. So he follows the vocal line down the toms towards the end to kind of stop the verse, I think, and then it goes into what I assume to be the pre-chorus. I'm just going to listen to that again and then I'll try to play along to it.
You gotta make good, you gotta photograph. You make me smile and then I wanna laugh. You think you've got it all figured out. You fill my void when nothing's on the shelf.
I'm not going to worry too much about the fancy stuff on the hats and the stops and starts and exactly what he's doing in the full. At the end, I'm just going to try and replicate the feel of the song, like I said. Cool. Then pre-chorus, I assume. The reason why I'm going on is because I feel comfortable with that. So that's why I am proceeding to listen to the pre-chorus. If I didn't feel comfortable with it, I would play it a few more times, just until I did feel comfortable with it. But this should be the pre-chorus.
Fill my void when nothing's on the shelf. Can I fly now that my wings are tied? I'm sure gonna try. I could say
I don't really know if that's the pre-chorus or if that's just the second part of the first verse, but it has kind of the same feel. It just has that little stop. That's why I thought it was the pre-chorus. I'm just going to listen to that again and then try to play it.
got it all figured out. You fill my void when nothing's on the shelf. Can I fly now that my wings are tied? I'm sure gonna try. I could say
The stops seem pretty natural. That's why I don't feel uncomfortable with them. I dig the stops, so I think I'll be able to play that if I listen to it. Or if I try and play along to it now. It's gonna suck if I make a mistake, but I'll try my best. Let's see if I can do this.
think you've got it all figured out. You fill my void when nothing's on the shelf. Can I fly now that my wings are tied? I'm sure gonna try. I can say you are bleeding. I can feel.
Cool, that feels comfortable. I'm just gonna listen to the chorus and make sure that I've got the chorus down. Usually what I do is I play up until the chorus, and if I feel like I've got the chorus down, then I'll try to play the whole song up until the end of the chorus. And then I start looking for things that I can copy. So well, I'll get to that. But if verse 2 is maybe the same as verse 1, then I just copy it over. That's why I just try to nail the first part up until the end of the first chorus. Feel-wise, I just try to get comfortable with that so that I can copy stuff if I can later on. So I'm just going to listen to the chorus now and see if I can play that as well.
I'm sure gonna try. I could say you are bleeding. I could feel you are hurting. I could tell you are getting tired of this. I am cold, you're just bitter. I am strong, you just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
The end is pretty interesting. Let's see if I can play that. I don't have high hopes for that though. I don't think I'm going to hit that stop. But the chorus seems pretty straightforward. It seems like a pretty straightforward rock beat. It's got a few offbeats in the middle, and it's got a nice little fill. But once again, I'm not too worried about specifics. I just want to nail the structure of the song.
That my wings are tied. I'm sure gonna try. I can say you are bleeding. I can feel you are hurting. I can tell you are getting tired of this. I am cold, you're just bitter. I am strong, you just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
I don't think I totally hate the stop at the end. I'm just going to listen to it again just to be sure. I think I kind of hit the timing. I just want to be sure about the specifics.
Tired of this. Just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Yeah, I'm not even going to break my head over that. I can get into more depth if I really want to, but I think it just goes down on the toms, and then he ends between the snare and the hats again. He or she. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to play what feels comfortable to me. Now that I've got that, I'm just going to play everything up until that point. I'm going to try and play everything up until that point, and then throughout the rest of the song, I'll just start looking for places where I can maybe copy things, just to make things easier for myself.
You gotta make it, you gotta photograph.
I did miss my favorite fill. One of my favorite fills in the intro. That sucks. I really thought I'd remember that. But I feel comfortable with everything up until the end of the first chorus. And now I'll just listen if... Well, now I really hope that the second verse is the same as the first verse, because then I can just copy that in my head. Kind of just let myself know that it is the exact same thing, so I can just play the same thing. So this is the second verse.
Whether I can tell you are getting tired of this. It's complicated and feel.
Just a little interlude between the first chorus and the second verse with a cool little fill at the end. And now it's the second verse.
It's complicated and feels so heavy. You've become jaded and you can blame me. You want purpose, it's something hidden. You want answers, you gotta seek them. Cannot find what I can see you.
Biggest difference for me is what I now think is the pre-chorus is not as long as the first one. It is half the length of the first one. So I don't know if it's half or if it's quarter the length of the first one. It's just not as long. So I'm just going to try and play that. But the thing is, like I said before, I don't know why the production team gave me such a difficult song with so many stops and starts and shizzle. Because I'm not going to play all those fills and all those stops and starts. I'm just going to try and maybe hit the stops, because that's pretty important to the feel of the song. But the fancy fills and stuff, I'm just going to try and yeah, get the feel of the song. I'm not going to worry too much about the fancy stuff. But let's see if I can play along to everything from the first chorus up until the second chorus. I'll actually then kind of try and jam along to the second chorus as well and just hope that it's the same structure as the first one. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what happens to the second chorus.
Whether I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Horrible misjudgment there. The song stops and then it goes into the tempo and signature change after the second chorus. But the cool thing is there are so many similarities between the second part of the song, meaning the second verse and the second chorus, and the first verse and the first chorus, that I can just copy that over. And I'm just making a mental note that the pre-chorus is half the length of the first one. So pretty much in my mind, when I get to the second verse, I just play what I played in the first verse, structure and feel-wise. Maybe a few extra stops, but like I said, I just make mental notes. I just let myself know when you get to this point, remember that the pre-chorus is not as long. So be ready for the chorus to come in a whole lot earlier than you thought it was going to be. So I just make mental notes, but I copy as many things as I can just to make life simpler for myself. I just want to hear how the second chorus ends.
You are hurting, I can tell you are getting tired of this. I am cold, you're just bitter. I am strong, you just wither. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Yeah, it just crashes out. What the flip? What's easier than that? But then it goes into the little signature change, which is going to be interesting. Let's just listen to that. It sounds like a 6/8. But I don't want to be too specific because, you know, I'm not really good with the technical stuff, but it sounds like 6/8. I'm just going to say it's a waltz. That's my disclaimer. It's a waltz. I just want to hear what that sounds like.
I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Yeah, it seems pretty simple. The dude or the dudette that played the drums did some fancy stuff on the hats. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to try and nail the waltz. And the stop at the end, well, it's not the end, but it's probably the middle of this little bridge section. I just want to hear that stop again because that's pretty important to the feel of the song. Yeah, that doesn't seem too complicated. So I'm just going to try and play that when I get to it. And I'm just going to listen to the next of this bridge section, and then I'll try to play it.
Are you so tired, and why are you running away? It seems you're so tired of this.
Cool. The thing that grabbed my attention the most was what I assume to be polyrhythms. I can't, because it's an MP3, it's not an extreme high resolution, so I can't hear exactly what's going on, but it sounds like polyrhythms are being played on the bell of the ride. The dude or the chick obviously moved towards the ride for the second part of that, didn't stay on the hats. The hat part kind of feels like the intro to the bridge, and then they play the bridge on the ride with polyrhythms. Well, I assume them to be polyrhythms. That's what it sounds like to me, so I'm just going to play it like that. And then it crashes out, and then it's got a few more crashes. Yeah, it's just a few crashes, and then it goes back into the chorus. So let's just see if I can play that. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, you just wear that. I can tell you are getting tired of this.
I totally forgot about the little stops that are really important to me, so I'm just going to listen to them again and make sure that I've got them. I think it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but I really want to play that because it just seems like a really cool little stop. Sweet, I'm just going to try that again. The reason why that beginning part is a little bit dodgy is not because I suck at playing drums. It's just really hard to go into the tempo change without a metronome. So I'm kind of just feeling my way around.
Just where that I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Cool, I'm just going to try that again. I did love the little stops that I remembered to play this time. I love that feel. And then I did kind of forget to go into the ride, so let's see if I can remember that this time. And then the ending, what the flip happens in the ending again? I remember the crashes, I just can't remember exactly how it ends, so I'm just going to listen to it one more time.
Are you so tired, and why are you running away? It seems you're so tired of this. I can see you are bleeding.
Cool, I'm just going to give that a go, see if I can play that now.
I can tell you are getting tired of this.
Sweet. I'm stoked that I remember the ending. Well, kind of remember the ending. I kind of remembered going into that double time 2/4 kind of vibe with the double bass at the very end. So I'm really stoked that I remember that. This is a cool song. This is a fun song to play. Except for the friggin' time tempo change. That is that's a bit tricky to nail. So I think I'm just gonna try to play through the whole song once and see if I can get all the little stops and nuances. It's full of a little things that you need to remember. So in my head, I kind of, like I said, I structured it like the intro, and then it's kind of a replica, except for the intro that is now the interlude between the first chorus and the second verse, and then maybe some small mental notes in terms of stops and things, but it's kind of a copy. So that just makes it so much easier for me to remember the structure of the song. Then it's the bridge, which has the tempo change and the time signature change, and then the outro. So it feels like it's not that complicated now. Let's just see if I can get the structure of the song right. Some small mistakes here and there. I think I might have missed something at the end of the first chorus, but it felt really good. It felt like a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with the song. It is actually a cool song. I take back my statements about the difficult time signature. Yeah, that's kind of my approach. I think, like I said before, it's really important for me to copy things, and just to tell myself that this part is equal to this part, plus maybe a few minor changes, like just a few mental notes. But it just makes it so much easier for me to remember parts of songs if I can relate them to each other. So if the first verse is equal to the second one, then then it's really easy to remember. So that's pretty much my approach to dissecting a song. I hope you dug it a little bit. It was a lot of fun for me.